Hey, okay, so here we go. What the day of the stroke was. This is a little story time here for you. I'm going to try to remember as well as possible. This might help somebody else who had a stroke because the day of the stroke was kind of awkward. It was a normal day. It was a Sunday morning. I woke up, did my normal thing, and woke up though and I had a weird spiral in my eye. I couldn't see real out of my left eye, and it was really annoying. I thought it was just like a sugar spiral or something. Because sometimes if I don't have enough blood sugar, I get spiral spots in my eyes. So I just thought it was something like that, so I ignored it. And then, but it was enough to really irritate me that day. And I had a mild headache, nothing crazy, just a mild headache. And from that headache, it kind of continued on all day. And I was plagued with headaches since the time I was born. So I ignored the headache and went through my day. By about 6 o'clock that night, I started noticing I was dropping stuff from my left hand. Like, it just didn't feel right, a little bit numb and tingly. And it kind of got worse and worse. And finally, my headache started, as the night went on, my headache got worse and worse. And about 6:30 on December 21st, I stood up. And when I stood up, things started spinning and everything got really weird. And I was flipping out. So I walked back to my wife's room. She was back in her bedroom watching a movie because she didn't want to watch the crap that I was watching. And some B-level sci-fi movie, which stuff like that I love. The worse the movie, the better. And which is why during my stroke, I thought I had been abducted by aliens because I was watching an alien abduction movie. And so, it's locked in my brain that my stroke happened because aliens beamed me up, stole a chunk of my brain, and then put me back down and didn't tell me. So I keep waiting for them to come back and fix my brain again, which is probably never going to happen, but it really pisses me off that they did that to me. And that was probably from watching that horrible movie. Sorry, a little adjustment here. I'm trying not to look at my nose. I'm trying to really look at the camera instead of looking at myself in the screen. It's really difficult when the screen is bigger than the lens is. Hopefully I'll get a new camera for Christmas and maybe I'll have better quality videos and stuff like that. Definitely better sound. Oh yeah. Anyway, so I stood up and everything got really dizzy and I felt drunk. And mind you, I had not been drunk since I was 18, 19 years old. So that was a long time ago. And I started slurring my words, and then this drool started coming crazy out of my mouth. And I walked back to my wife in the bedroom, and I was like, "I feel disorientated," and I was mumbling my words, and everything was funny to me. Nothing made sense. But my headache was intense at this point. I mean, I couldn't believe how bad my head hurt. So I went to the bathroom, and I was going to get some Excedrin migraine, and I thought that might help. When I walked in the bathroom, I flipped on the light. The light, for some reason, flashed me, and I fell to the ground. My ex-wife heard me fall, so she runs in the bathroom and she's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't feel good. I don't feel right." So she picks me up, and I couldn't get up. My left leg and my left arm were gone. They just didn't exist anymore. It was whack. It was like, what the hell is happening here? So anyway, kind of picked me up and dragged me to the bedroom, sat me on the bed, and I'm like, "Just let me go to sleep. I'll wake up tomorrow and everything will be fine. Just let me go to sleep." She's like, "No, something's wrong with you. You're messed up. Something is really wrong with you." And you know, because I was so out of it and so disoriented, I I kind of agreed with her, So she's like, "We're gonna call the 911." And mind you, I've never even been to a hospital before this. I mean, I I was so healthy and young, I never had the reason to go to a hospital. So when she said I was going in an ambulance, I was like, "Cool, never been in an ambulance before," and they sound like fun. So I was like, "Well, bring me to help me get to the front door so I can wait for them out there so they don't have to come in our messy house or whatever." And she's like, "Well, first we got to put clothes on you." What are you talking about? I'm going to the hospital. She's like, "Well, you got to get out of your pajama pants and put something else more suitable." That was Beth, always worried about the appearances of things. And she combed my hair, got me ready, and we dragged myself to the front door, put the dogs in the backyard so they'd be okay while we were gone. And as what the hell is this on my screen? Okay. And so as sitting there waiting at the front door for the ambulance to come. They finally pull up, and the guy runs up. And he's like, "Okay, let me follow my finger with your eyes." And I couldn't do it, of course. I'm like, and he's like, "No, keep your head still." I'm like, "I can't." and then, you know, hold your arms out. I could only hold my right arm out because my left arm was pretty much dead at this point. And, you know, touch your nose. I'm like, uh. And then he did the foot test where, you know, like push your feet down, like you're pressing the brake. And my left foot, I couldn't do it. And I started panicking. I'm like, holy shit, I can't feel my left leg. What is going on? The guy's like, I think you're having a CVA. I'm like, a CV what? A CVA, which is a stroke. And I was like, can I just go to bed and maybe it'll be better tomorrow? And the guy's like, no, we got to bring you to the hospital. So they take me to the hospital, and on the way in the ambulance, I'm laying there, my headache now is intense, so they gave me oxygen, and I was like, can you guys at least play the lights and sirens? If I'm in an ambulance, I want the full ride, man. I want everything. I want lights. And he's like, okay. So they bust out with the lights and siren, and I think I went unconscious, woke up the next time in the hospital, and they're doing all these neurological tests on me, and they're like, this can't be a stroke. This kid's too young. He's too healthy. He's not obese. I'm like, okay, what drugs are you? And we go back to the same fucking story again with the drugs. Everybody thinks I'm a druggie. And, you know, finally they tested me and found out that I was completely clean of any drugs. And they're like, well, we think you're having a complex migraine. It's a migraine. Once the migraine goes away, you'll be fine. But if you're having a stroke, you know, we have this medicine we could give you that will blast the stroke out of your head. But we think you're fine. We think you're just having a complex migraine. So, and if there's a chance that this medication could kill you if you're not having a stroke. So do you want the medicine? I'm like, man, I'm having a stroke right now or something. I'm not the one to make this decision. And they're like, I'm like, no medicine, but I'll be fine tomorrow and I'll go to work tomorrow. Turned out I was not going to be okay tomorrow. And I was having a massive stroke after hours and hours of nothing happening. My ex-wife finally said, we're going to take him to a better hospital where they can actually do more than just a CAT scan of his brain. And so they shipped me to Mission St. Joseph's in Asheville, North Carolina, from the little podunk hospital I was at in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and found a massive blood clot in my right cerebral artery, you know, because your carotid artery comes up and then it turns right. Well, right there at that bend where it goes from, where it switches laterally from up and down, you know, there was a huge clot there cutting off blood from the front of my brain all the way to the back. So, mind you, my parietal lobe, my temporal lobe, my occipital lobe, my prefrontal cortex were all being affected by this clot, killing brain, you know, because as you know, every second is more brain damage dead. And brain damage doesn't come back. So I'm going to have this messed up gimpy arm for the rest of my life. This is my life right here, this stupid arm. This is my life. And it will be my life. I was lucky. I went to a good hospital, and they sent me to a good rehab hospital that I was there for an entire month getting intensive inpatient rehab, which was nice. No happy ending there. I'm still the way I am. Wife decided she did not want to be married to a crippled guy anymore, so she bailed. But that's all right, because I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on. I'll meet somebody else, and everything will be groovy.